Hello everyone, Johnny Minder here, and today we are continuing to learn Japanese with Super Mario World in the Super Mario Advance 2 version in particular. Last time we finally properly started the game. The previous time we only checked out the in-game story, other than the box art and so on. But yeah, we started properly playing it. We checked out Yoshi's house, and then played the very first level. And yeah, that's it, because we had a lot of writings to check out. There will be more at the start of the game, but yeah, after that, apart from level names, we'll find them way less frequently. And yeah, today we'll start actually with in English, I think it's called the Yellow Switch Palace. I seem to remember, and yeah, we'll see how it's called in Japanese, and yeah, start with that. And yeah, without further ado, let's start. Yeah, here we have the game. We have already seen the additional intro of this version, which is one of the several reasons why we are playing this instead of the original on SNES, while in particular would be Super Famicom, of course, since we are playing the Japanese versions. And yeah, World 1, as you can see, as I showed also at the end last time, and 1 because we played one level. And yeah, here we have our level. It's a peculiar one because yeah, we have the yellow switch. We have the name in Japanese, which is Kappa Yama, ki-ro swichi. And yeah, first and foremost, we have this Kappa Yama. Which literally would simply be Kappa. I'm pretty sure it's simply a proper name. As in Kappa, you might have heard it. It's first and foremost the name of mythical Japanese creature, a creature present in Japanese folklore, water-dwelling creature, and yeah, you might know it also considering that we from Animal Crossing, because yeah, the character Kappen, yeah, it's a Kappa, and all his family. As for the accent, by the way, yeah, let's check that out. Okay, yeah, unaccented. Unsurprisingly, technically, as well. Actually, it's a weird word because technically the kanji for the ka as the reading ka in the Chinese reading ka, but also the Japanese reading kawa. Kawa, as we have seen, is means river. Should be unaccented, and no, actually, sorry, still forgot it. It's accented on the last syllable, so there's the confusion because they sound the same without adding anything. I accent on the last syllable, and yeah, considering that it's also a typical Japanese creature, of Japanese folklore. Yeah, this technically should be. Yeah, I see also another form that it's kawappa. So yeah, it's of strictly Japanese origin. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you simply have to remember that it's an accent. But yeah, we'll see that again, of course. Technically, kappa has other meanings. I want to quickly check out. Just to be completely sure. I hope I won't have too many issues here. Okay. Yeah, nothing additional. I wanted to quickly check also on Super Mario Wiki to see what they mentioned about its name in Japanese, but yeah, it's straight up also for them simply kappa. So yeah, as in the creature, maybe because of the shape. As in we have this top here, and yeah, that could kind of remind of the top of the head of a kappa. But yeah, after that for sure we have yama, which means mountain. That one is accented on the syllable, and I know that for sure. I think we have also seen it before, or at least I mentioned it. It's worth mentioning that, yeah, while you might have heard Yama for Fujiyama, nowadays in Japanese, usually when attaching it to names of mountains, you use the Chinese reading san. And yeah, so actually the Fujiyama is actually called Fuji-san in Japanese, not to be confused with the san used as the suffix for people's names. Let me quickly check on the physical dictionary. Okay, got the physical dictionary. I wanted to check the accent for that sun, the sun for mountain, but there might be also the one for yama, because yeah, while technically nowadays you'd use usually sun, there exist terms that still have yama. So yeah, we might be able to find it. Okay, first and foremost I have sun here. Okay. Okay, let me check quickly on the note, because yeah, there are more than one, and so we have to check that to be sure which okay, we have these sun, sorry, because I actually moved forward there. Okay, and that then the note. And yeah, it's apparently among those that simply add that are accented before the suffix itself. I'm quickly checking to see if I can spot it also in this. Yeah, I can see it. And so accent on the last syllable of the name, and then san low. But there's this note. And yeah, the example is actually there are some like Fuji-san, the name of ciao, hello, trend. Which are actually accented simply with they keep the accent of the word itself. Yeah, in the case of Mount Fuji, Fuji is accented on the first syllable, and yeah, it stays like that. So Fuji-san, high, and everything else low. Wanted to quickly check out, on the other hand, Yama, because it's the one that actually we have here. Yeah, I see an unaccented version and one accented before it. Yeah, we'll quickly check both in the note. Yeah, the first one is that, okay. And yeah, it could be either part of the group of those that make the word unaccented, and it's pretty convenient. Like Iro, we have seen, which actually we'll need in a second, by the way. But there's also this other pattern for it. Okay, this note. Yeah, simply there are exceptions. Yeah, some exemptions that are actually accented before the Yama itself. In our case, considering that it's not a name that exists, my guess would be simply unaccented. So yeah, ka yama. And then after that we have first and foremost ki-iro, which means yellow. And yeah, we have this iro as the suffix, which means is the word for color, on its own accented on the last syllable. But yeah, when added as a suffix, it makes the word unaccented. And so yeah, ki-iro is unaccented. By the way, yeah, notice that it's ki-i-ro. So yeah, ki-iro. Wanted to quickly check out the word itself to mention, because yeah, technically this key is for yellow on its own, even though more often than not you hear it as ki-iro. I guess simply it means yellow, apparently, seemingly unrelated to either Buonasera Guillaume, good evening. seemingly unrelated to either key for tree, accented one, key unaccented for mind, spirit, and so on. We've seen the one for tree. We should have already even studied its kanji in a previous series. I think it was in... let me quickly check, just to be sure. Okay, yeah, it's simply in... we studied it in the Legend of Zelda series. Again, if you want to check that out, to review it there, or if you haven't watched it, I put the kanji in the descriptions of the series where we studied them, and yeah, in this case, in the Legend of Zelda. But yeah, unrelated to either, so yeah, simply keep in mind that key, yellow, but yeah, more often than not heard as ki-ro, by adding literally simply color, yellow color, and yeah, unaccented, because that's the rule for this suffix, luckily, makes it easier. And last but not least, we have switchy. Yeah, switch from English. Yeah, quite useful also, considering that the name of the console. Yeah, switchy. Simply notice the only differences are the additional E for the C required, well, of course, because the consonant can stay on its own, and its E is chosen to make the sound ch, because it's in the tagyo, the ta ro, ta chi su te to. And yeah, also the doubling of the consonant, the following consonant with the small tsu. So yeah, simply it's called, in Japanese, instead of being yellow switch palace, like in English, they adapted it. Yeah, in Japanese it's called Kappa Mountain yellow switch. And yeah, so we can actually play it. I'd actually switch, as you can see on the map. We have Mario, but we can actually switch to Luigi by pressing R, and yeah, when you do so, you see his name. Mario we have seen a lot of times before, also considering the titles of Mario games, of course. But yeah, in this case we have Luigi. Notice that I'll quickly show it again. The long vowel, the R, Japanese R instead of L, but yeah, makes sense. L can be one of the pronunciations of Japanese R, and almost more often than not it's a tap flap R. So in this case, ru. Yeah, either way it would be still the closest consonant. Yeah, then we simply have a longer vowel for the E, Luigi. Yeah, two. Actually, because technically that's how it works also in Italian. You should, if there isn't a final consonant, the vowels actually in pronunciation should be longer. So actually, that should be the case technically also for Mario, but yeah, in Japanese it isn't. It becomes simply Mario, while Luigi it's kept. And also potentially for stylization, because to not keep it identical, funny enough, to the word Luigi, which is clearly, and you might have heard of it also before, it's the inspiration for Luigi's name. And yeah, Luigi, technically more than one, but this is the most common word technically, means resemblance, similarity, likeness, analogy. Let's say the fundamental meaning, resemblance, however you want to call it, similarity. Yeah, it's a Chinese compound, unaccented, luckily, like most of those. And yeah, so that. But yeah, I'll play as Luigi. We'll switch between the two brothers when we play. And yeah, we have this place. We press. Don't want to. Yeah, while trying to pick to have a running start, I kept on picking up the P switch. We have a lot of coins. And we can enter the pipe here. Press the button, the yellow switch, the titular yellow switch here. And by doing so, this message shows up. I think it will go away in a second. So yeah, I took it. And yeah, as you can see, by pressing it, all those yellow blocks start going around. We have this menu, but we'll check it in a second. We finally take the time to check it. But yeah, first and foremost, we have this. The message that showed up when we pressed the button itself, the switch. And between the dashes, again, we have seen that that's how they... what's in between those in this game is the title of this message. In this case, it's Switchy no Kyuden. And yeah, we have again switchy, switch, no, the possessive particle. And then we have this Kyuden. And yeah, that's funny enough where the other part of the English title of this stage comes from, because Kyuden, we check its accent in a second, means palace. And yeah, so that's why it became Yellow Switch Palace in English. Also the name of the stage. Kyuden, luckily, is, well, it's a Chinese compound, as you might have guessed. And yeah, unaccented, like most of those. Then, after that, we have the message itself. Anata ga oshita switch no chikara de. Then we have the icon ga. And then we have the other icon, ni kawarimasu. So yeah, we could say for the first one, empty block. So it would become kara buroku. Because kara, there are other kara. We've seen also the particle, for example, but yeah, that one would be the one which means empty. Can be used as a prefix also, yeah, like I would do in this case, kara on its own, accent on the last syllable. And then, of course, I would add buroku, block. Accented, just like in English, as we have seen before. The other one, I simply add before it yellow. So yeah, the Kiro we have seen. Technically, apart from Kiro on its own, there's this form which adds an E to make it a ni adjective, because otherwise Kiro on its own would be a noun. can take the genitive case particle no to make an adjective, even though structure is noun plus possessive particle. Can also be an adjective. But yeah, there's also a way simpler form technically. You add an E and make it an E adjective. Kiroi, also an accented. Either way, yeah, we would have again Kiro no, or Kiro na, or Kiroi, and then Broku again. So yeah, yellow block. Yeah, just wanted to to give a pronunciation to those icons, even though there isn't, of course. We simply have the icons. But yeah, we can actually check the message itself. It starts with anata, quite an important word. It's the most common, the fundamental, we should say, second person singular pronoun, you, as in for a single person. Accented should be on the na, and yeah, it is anata, low, high, low. In practice, traditionally it was polite in reference to someone of equal or lower status. Yeah, nowadays it's actually often considered rude, or at the very least distant, because yeah, the actual way to actually say you in Japanese is actually using that person's name, more often than not the surname, but it depends, of course, on the context, plus their suffix. And so yeah, that's how you technically say quote-unquote you in Japanese. You actually simply refer to them with their name. But yeah, it exists. You'll see it used, like in this case, of course, because yeah, in games, when referring to a generic you, yeah, it's useful for such cases. Especially for something that, like in this case, it's literally simply a message, a game message, technically. It's worth mentioning that anata can also be used in as familiar language for dear, honey, usually used by wives addressing their husbands. So yeah, you'll hear it also as anata for dear honey. Yeah, literally simply you technically, but yeah, also used that way. But yeah, after that we have the subject particle ga. Then we have the verb osta, and yeah, the usual from osu, to press, and yeah, perfect for buttons, both on the controllers, as we have seen also last time, and many times in Pokemon Snap, for example. Unaccented, but we'll quickly check. Press as well, push. The fundamental meaning would be push, because it can be also push as in thrust, shove, but also push as in a button, press down, and so on. Can also be used and makes sense as an extended meaning to stamp one's name. As actually in Japan, stamps are still used as a form of signature. but we'll see that when the time comes, also in practice, in other games. Unaccented, as mentioned, it's a verb, code verb, so to make that a form, we have to follow the rules. Luckily, it's in Su, so it's the easiest one. We literally simply make the continuative form, we change the U into I, or Si, and then add ta. Same rule as for the te, ta, so the past form of the verb in plain speech. And after that we have a noun, so yeah, actually it's a relative clause. After that we have the noun switch, so the switch you pressed, the switch that you pressed. And then after that we have the possessive particle no. Then we have the noun chikara. We have seen it before, accented on the last syllable. It means force, strength, might, vigor, energy. Also by extension, capability, ability. We have seen it a lot in, for example, in Kirby's Adventure, in that sense of the ability, because also it's how they referred often to for copy abilities. But yeah, here it's simply with the we could I'd say the strength, we could keep it simple. With the power, we could also say that I anticipated that after that we have the particle de, which indicates the means in this case. So yeah, with the power of the switch that you pressed. Then we have the icon, the first icon, the subject particle ga, the other icon, the particle ni, to, as in into, in this case, required by the verb, but yeah, makes sense because the verb is kawarimasu, from kawaru. We have actually seen it. I don't remember if kawaru itself, which is the intransitive form of the verb, or kairu. Kairu, most likely yes. Yeah, kawaru can slightly change the meaning depending on the kanji, but in general, the fundamental meaning is to change. And yeah, that's the one with when you use the kanji that's most used, to change, as in to be transformed, to be altered, to vary. In the sense of, by extension, also to move to, yeah, for example, if one changes company, as in the example on the online dictionary, but yeah, to change in general. With another kanji, it can mean to change, as in to replace. But yeah, I'd say let's simply keep it as to change, but we'll see when we fully translate it. Either way, it's a U verb, godan verb, so we can change the U into I to make the continuative form. In this case, it's required because we add then mas, the verb, the auxiliary verb, which is used to make the polite form of verbs in Japanese. And yeah, so the full translation becomes, well, we had above the switch palace, the palace of the switch, if you change the order. But yeah, in Japanese the order is always like in English with the S of the possessive, switch palace, technically. Yeah. Switch palace, also without it. It can be, but yeah, of course, in Japanese, there's always usually there's the possessive particle. Okay, in this case. And yeah, so the translation instead of the sentence itself is with the power of the switch that you pressed, the icon of the empty blocks change into the other icon. So yeah, the dotted lines blocks change into the actual yellow blocks. And yeah, so with that we can actually continue. And yeah, quickly we'll show that we have this menu that popped up. This is where you'd, as you might notice, even just with, even if you don't remember the kana, you notice that the first word is they start all the same. Because yeah, there's always the word sebu, sebu, sebu. And yeah, because it's the save menu. And yeah, this in the original game it will show up only when you play one of these levels, like this yellow switch palace. We'll see also the fortresses and so on. And you could save only here. Luckily here we can save by pressing the menu, as you have seen the previous times. Yeah, let's quickly check the options here. We have the first one, which is Seibu Shinaide Suzukeru. First and foremost, we have Seibu, as mentioned. So yeah, save from English. Should be accented like in English, and it is. And yeah, of course, we have the A sound that actually becomes simply long E. Nowadays, even if it were written as E, would technically be pronounced by most as E, long E. At least this in standard Japanese, it depends then on the dialects also. But yeah, for these words from English, they kept it simple. And then, of course, we have the additional U, because the consonant can stay on its own for the bu, and also the V that becomes B, because yeah, it's the closest sound. And yeah, originally in Japanese they didn't exist. Nowadays you could write it in with kana, with katakana, actually pronounced as V, but yeah, these are all the words. They are kept like this usually. And yeah, save. Technically it's announced, so it would become a saving, as also the dictionary mentions, but you can add the verb suru, like in this case, to make the corresponding verb. And so yeah, literally to do saving, to save. And yeah, suru, which is unaccented on its own, to do. Unfortunately, completely irregular verb, so you simply have to remember that it's, in this case, first and foremost, irrealis form, not yet state form, as I call it based on its Japanese name, is shi. And with that, we can then attach nai. Nai, which on its own is an adjective, which means non-existent, and is used also when attached to the not yet state form of verbs to make the plain the negative. With nai on its own, simply the present, the negative in the present, or potentially future, because the present can be used also for the future. by further conjugating it, then you can get other forms, like in this case, as we see in a second. But yeah, the negative in plain speech. But yeah, in this case, we also have this the. This is actually a form of a te form of the adjective, technically. A peculiar one, because technically to make the there's another form, another way to make the te form of from these from e adjectives, which is we conjugate them by dropping the e and adding the q, so making the adverbial form, and then attaching the te, and it stays te, like unlike in this case, which becomes in which it becomes de. And yeah, actually, both are used. It depends on the usage. In this case, it's simply actually for don't do don't save and. So yeah, actually the regular form, the usual usage of the te form. We could say even better, we can adapt it as in without saving. But yeah, literally would be without doing the saving. Oh yeah, don't do the saving, don't save, and then we have the verb suzukeru. Which means continue. To continue. It's the transitive form of the verb. We might have seen before, also it's intransitive one, suzuku. Notice yet again one where the intransitive form is in u, the transitive one is in eru. Should be, I think, to remember an accent. Yes, it is. Yeah, we've seen it before. So yeah, literally, don't save and continue the game. Yeah, so implied the game, and so yeah, continue playing. So yeah, implied an object. So yeah, that's why we have the transitive verb, transitive form. The second option is seibu shite suzukeru. So yeah, actually, in this case we change suru to add the te form to it. Yeah, unfortunately, to do so, it becomes shi, which is also its continuative form. So yeah, actually, in that sense, luckily, it's the same. But yeah, we have to remember that the continuative form of suru is shi, and then we add te. Do the saving, save, and then again suzukeru. So yeah, save and continue. Last but not least, we have again seibu shite, save and. Last but not least, we have the verb owaru. We've seen it in a previous series. Owaru should be also an accented and it is, means to end. It's the intransitive form of the verb. The transitive one is actually oeru. You might wonder why we change yeah, we technically have another set of those in eru and one in aru. The one in aru most likely once more a classical form of the passive. So yeah, is finished, and yeah, so then it became the intransitive form. You might notice that I said o-e-ru, and then Owaru. Where does this wa come from? Most likely because I don't think I have ever straight up confirmed it, but I think it's pretty safe to say it. I'll quickly search it anyway. But yeah, the original form of Oeru was actually Oweru. So yeah, with a we. Actually in this, okay, no. It's simply because it's another, in another sense. Yeah, it was that, but because it was actually the original verb opu, so written actually with the fu. But as we have seen before in previous series, then all those ha, he, hu, he, ho, actually original papi, pupe, po, in the middle of words changed. Technically, they became, and yeah, so for all the vowels except for the a, they became the simple vowels, so the p fell. Technically it became w and then it fell because then there was also that change. Except for the wa, which yeah, is the only w sound that remained. So yeah, makes sense. It's because of that. But yeah, owaru means to finish. So yeah, do the save, and here we actually have simply the intransitive form, but yeah, it doesn't change. And then the game implied ends. Yeah, so save, don't save and continue, save and continue, save and end the game. We'll actually do save and continue, of course, in our case. We can quickly go down. Okay, yeah, I was forgetting that this is the reason for the Kappa mountain, actually. As you can see, when you climb it up, you pass through that. And that really, yeah, it's this part that really looks like the top of a kappa. And again, if you have seen even just the Animal Crossing character, originally and surprisingly, the one that ferried you on a boat with his boat. Yeah, the relation to the water because he's a kappa. But yeah, then other various roles depending on which Animal Crossing game you played. But yeah, if you've seen it, yeah, that's this is clearly the top of a kappa. I show it again by going up. Yeah, you can also see it in this smaller form of the map. Okay, with that, I'd say we can take our usual break now, so that when we'll be back, yeah, this time I'm not starting the level immediately and then being miss the break, sorry, but unlike last time, but even though we really needed the time anyway to check all those writings. But yeah, when we'll be back in around 5 minutes, most likely slightly less, we'll actually play this second level of this world, this proper level, not the switch, yellow switch palace in Japanese, in English, the Kappa Mountain yellow switch in Japanese. But yeah, we'll play this one. We'll check out again its same event, what we have seen last time. And yeah, see you in around 5 minutes. And we are back. Yeah, so we can now continue. First and foremost, we have the name of the level. Yeah, it's the same as the one we played last time. Well, apart of course from the Yoshi's house here to the left. Yeah, this one is the actual level we played. Yosta, To, and then Kosu. And then we have the 2, of course, as the difference. So yeah, we simply had increased the number. Most likely, I'd say, in this case, even though technically we have the word Kosu from English, most likely we'd use the most common numbers in Japanese when used on their own, so the Chinese numerals, with some exceptions, which we have partially introduced, but we see them again and again. But yeah, so in this case, I'd say Ni. First and foremost, we have again Yosuta, Yoster, the name of this island, the proper name, and yeah, as a reminder, yeah, most likely a wordplay on Yo from Yoshi, and then the rest, the long vowel and then Sta, and the long vowel at the end, from Easter, Isuta, and yeah, so a play on Yoshi plus Easter Island. Yeah. After that, of course, we have that To also at the end, written as To-u, but then O-u in Japanese is usually read as long O. So yeah, To. We have seen it last time. Then when you add To, it should be accented on the suffix To for island. The word should be unaccented. Maybe I didn't mention it, but yeah. Anyway, that should be the case. Yeah, you can see it here. Well, there with not a proper name, but yeah, it shouldn't change. Technically, you could use also the words, the strictly Japanese readings, Shima can change also in Jima with the voicing, as yeah, that happens when you add the second part of a compound or a suffix of strictly Japanese origin in particular. And you can still find it in some names of islands in Japanese, or proper names of locations. But yeah, nowadays you should usually add To, as we have seen, like in this case, also with fictional ones, Yosta, To. As mentioned, the Tomodachi Life one, the pan, direct To, from direct, but only the Daireku, because then the To was added with the suffix. Yeah, I wanted to quickly check Shima. Yeah, another case where it's there's an unaccented variant, one accented before the Shima. I'll quickly check again. With the note here. Okay. Shima. Okay, 3 and 4, the notes. Yeah, mostly unaccented, but that there can be those accented before the suffix itself. So yeah, you simply have to know them, to pay attention when it comes to this. And yeah, there are also exceptions. And yeah, as mentioned, like for Yama, as we have seen. For Jima, the same, honestly. I see that it mentions the same rules and the same two patterns. Last but not least, we have Kosu, of course. Again, course in English. Yeah, as in the courses found in video games. The levels. And then, last but not least, the Chinese numeral Ni for 2. And yeah, without further ado, we can actually start it. And I'll switch to Mario, because yeah, we technically played, didn't switch for the Yoshi's house last time, but yeah, this time, since it was technically more of a level, there was somewhat more to it. We played the Switch Palace as Luigi. We played this level as Mario. Yeah, we have a shell here that we can use. Yeah, you can see that we defeated all the Koopas and got a 1-up. And yeah, there we got the egg, and then from it came out Yoshi, of course. As if you ever seen a Mario game with Yoshi, you know. And yeah, here we have what he says. And yeah, so we have this message to check out. And yeah, first and foremost, he says "who," and then with that small "tsu" as in at the end. So technically, first we have the longer vowel "who," and then it the end and the exclamation mark. And yeah, of course, it's simply an onomatopoeia. I wonder if I'll find it in the dictionary. Yeah, technically I found it. Also written simply as "who," "u," here in hiragana, or yeah, like here in katakana with the long vowel mark. And yeah, it's simply, as you might have guessed, yeah, like English "who," "who," or half also says. Also can be used for a "woo," "who." Yeah, first and foremost, I say yeah, and like in this case also a "who." And then we have Tascata. And then it stops immediately. There we have a period, full stop. In Japanese, notice that it's usually a circle. And yeah, we have the verb tascata from tasukaru. And yeah, funny enough, last time when we played Yoshi's Home, we found the transitive form of the verb, taskeru, was accented, if I recall correctly, so this one should be accented as well. Yes, it is. And yeah, to save that one, this one to be saved. And yeah, again we have one in eru, the transitive, the intransitive in aru. And yeah, again, as you might have guessed also by the translation, yeah, it's another form of the classical form of the passive, that yeah, that simply became the intransitive form of the verb. The transitive form, taskeru, notice also again the u, barely heard if at all, of su, because it's between unvoiced consonants, so taskeru, taskaru. the transitive form taskeru is ineru, so actually a ru verb is done verb. Tasukaru is a u verb, godan verb. As a reminder, dan is also the term found in when mentioning the vowels of the kana. And yeah, so that's why because we could say it as grades in a way. Steps is also used. But yeah, it's simply 5 vowels or 1 vowel. And yeah, in our case, 5 vowels because yeah, you can change the to conjugate. You usually change the final vowel from u, the dictionary form, into a, I, or keep u of course, e or o. While for the other one we have 1 vowel technically, and then we add at most ru, as in the dictionary form, or other things, as we'll see. And we have also partially seen. But yeah, it's u verb, godan verb. So to make the ta form, we have to follow the rules. It's in ru, so it becomes a double consonant, as we can see here. Again, first we made the continuative form by changing the u into i. Yeah, you can see the vowels came into play, as mentioned. Tasuka ri, ta. But yeah, then most likely the i fell, and so tasukar ta, difficult to pronounce. So yeah, the consonant simply became the doubling of the following consonant. Taskata. The accent, by the way, in this case, stays on the ka. The accent of the te or ta forms is on the third to last mora. So yeah, in our case, it stays on the ka, luckily. It usually changes with for the because of that it stays on the from the final one, the third to last, and yeah, so it actually moves the accent for ru verb, ichidan verbs. But yeah, we'll see that again when we found one of those. Ta form, and so yeah, past form of the verb as already mentioned in plain speech. And yeah, so you saved me. Let's keep it simple. You saved me. Well, actually, sorry, this is the intransitive form, so literally here it would be I've been saved, I've been rescued. Actually, you might you'll hear also, yeah, kind of like an exclamation in a way. Yeah, literally, it's I've been rescued, I've been saved. After that, we have another small part before the big one. The short one is Boku, Yoshi. And yeah, first and foremost, we have again Boku. We've seen it last time with Yoshi at Yoshi's house, surprisingly, because it's the pronoun he uses for himself. It's a first person singular pronoun, accent on the first syllable, Boku. And yeah, it's a male term or language, but yeah, not rough or arrogant like ore, as mentioned last time, which is yeah, so unsurprisingly for a character like Yoshi, he uses the male pronoun, but the more neutral one. Ore, by the way, unaccented. And yeah, then of course the name. Technically, there could be an implied topic particle wa written as ha. As for me, I'm Yoshi. Here we have literally I implied the copula. Yoshi. So I'm Yoshi. And then we have the big sentence, the main sentence. Kuppa ni tsukamatta nakama o tasuke ni oshiro e ikou to shitara yatsura ni tamago ni tojikomerareta n desu. Yeah. Step by step, let's check out what he says. Well, first and foremost, we have Kuppa, again, Bowser's Japanese name. Then we have the particle ni. In this case, it means by. And then we have the verb tsukamaru, here conjugated, tsukamatta. But yeah, tsukamaru means, by the way, unaccented, okay, to be caught. The transitive form, this is the intransitive one, is tsukamu, to seize, to catch, to grasp, and so on. Also by extension, to obtain, to acquire. Yeah, fundamental meanings are to seize, to catch. Yeah, by extension also to understand, to grasp, to comprehend, similar to English. Yeah, technically you could keep in mind to grasp, to then get all those extended meanings. Yeah, one in U, the transitive, the intransitive in Aru, and yeah, again the intransitive is a classical form of the passive. And funny enough, in this case we literally see it in practice, because we have this ni as the particle, that means by, and so yeah, the agent of the action. So yeah, implied I was captured by Bowser. Yeah, of course, then tsukamaru is a verb, codon verb. So to make the form, we have to follow the rules, another one in ru, so it becomes double consonant ta. And yeah, so past form of sorry, the I was isn't present because it's actually another thing after. Yeah, if it stopped after the tsukamata, then it would be what I mentioned. Everything else is correct. Yeah, past form of the verb. And yeah, after that we have a noun. So yeah, that actually becomes the subject of this. But yeah, it's a relative clause again. Noun, which is nakama, which we have seen before, yeah, last time. Again in Yoshi's house, because yeah, there he explained this also. Here, of course, now he's straight up talking to Mario, explaining it again, also with an addition, as we'll see. But yeah, this part is the same. Yeah, we have this nakama, companion, fellow, friend, mate, comrade. But yeah, the fundamental meaning companion, all those extended ones. Technically a compound, we have naka, the one for relation in this case, ma, which means time, pause, or space. And yeah, the technically space of the relation. Yeah, so we get this word for companion. So yeah, the my implied companions captured by Bowser. Yeah, still again intransitive form of the verb. originally classical a passive form, and yeah, we get also the agent by Bowser. Then we have the object particle O, written as O and pronounced as such in careful speech and also singing. And then we have Tasuke, yeah, from Taskeru, as mentioned, the transitive form of Tasukaru. And so, yeah, to save, to rescue. It's a ru verb, it's done verb, so we can drop the ru to make the continuative form. In this case, required because then we had ni, the particle ni, and so to save, literally, so yeah, actually just like in English. In particular, as we'll see, this structure we use the continuative form of a verb, the particle ni, and then for this final clause, but yeah, then associated with a verb of movement in the main clause, as we see, but in this case not a straight up main clause technically, because then it is further extended, but yeah. So with verbs like go to do the action of the verb in this form, come to do the action of the verb in this form, and so on. But yeah, then we have the word oshiro. Oshiro is as the honorific prefix o. Unfortunately, don't think I'll find it as such in the dictionary, and so that's unfortunate. To check out also its accent. But yeah, shiro on its own should be an accent, and it is, means castle. My guess would be, I'll quickly search, even though I have doubt I'll find it even in the physical dictionary. My guess would be that even with the prefix, it stays the same. Unfortunately, there are some words that change. So yeah, we aren't sure, completely sure. Let me quickly check. Oshiro. Nope. As expected. But yeah. So, hopefully unaccented, just like shiro on its own. Then we have the particle e, written as he. And by the way, as a reminder, yeah, here we can see they kept the original kana writing for e as the particle. But yeah, nowadays pronounced e because, yeah, of the evolution I mentioned for ha, he, hu, he, ho, originally papi, pupe, po. When not at the start of a word. Yeah, for example, for the particle. Same for wa, the topic particle, written as ha. But yeah, e means towards, towards. When used normally, there's this distinction, not always followed, but there is technically, between e used as more towards, as in the direction, ni used as go to a certain place, as in the destination. In this case, not, because we simply use e with the place, go to the castle, towards, and yeah, so if you keep that in mind, towards makes even more sense, towards the castle, to do the action of the verb. So yeah, the verb requires the ni particle, and so the place itself uses e instead. And yeah, then we have the verb iko, from iku, unaccented, means to go. here it's iku is a u verb godan verb, so we can change the u into o u, so long o, to make the evolutional form of the verb. Here, not in its most common usage, which is let's. Its most common meaning, let's. But the other one, which is willing to do the action of the verb. To have the will to do the action of the word, of the verb. In this case, actually required by that other structure, as we'll see in a second. Which is, first and foremost, we have the particle to, which is the quotation particle. And yeah, technically in this case, you could consider it as such, as in if the person speaking were referring to, quoting what they were saying before that. Even though in practice, when we add suru and make this to suru expression, suru again, the verb which on its own means to do, we get this expression, which means, it's used actually when used after the volitional form of the verb, because when used after other forms of the verb, it has another meaning. Mention it in a second. Yeah, after the volitional form of the verb, it means to try to be about to do. And yeah, so in our case, it would be I tried to go to the castle to, and so on. Actually, when used after the dictionary form of a verb, so yeah, the verb also used in plain speech, it becomes to decide to. And yeah, they're strictly related because, yeah, in one case it's simply I did it, I did, and then we get a quotation of what he did. I do, and a quotation of what the person does. And so, because it's to decide to, with the volitional form instead, we have what to do, and then the quotation of what the person is willing to do. And more often than not, it's it depends. It can be simply that the person is about to do something, or is trying to do something. But yeah, often with we have this to, shita, ga. So in the past, the verb suru, with then the addition of ga, the conjugation, which means but, however, in other contexts also and, but yeah, literally it would be but. So I tried, I was willing to do that, but, and something else. In this case, we don't get exactly that, but actually a pretty similar, as we see in practice usage. We make the past form of suru. Again, unfortunately, it's completely irregular, so it becomes the continuative form shi. Then we add ta, and then we add actually the ra to make a form of the conditional. The conditional, if, when, so actually potentially also temporal usage. just like in English. This form in particular focuses on the action of the verb in this form being completed, be concluded, I guess, because it's the origin is from the ta form, before everything else in the sentence can happen. And yeah, so in our case it's I tried, actually, when I tried to go and so on, and something else actually happened. So yeah, similar to the sta-ga structure you often see. In that case, I tried, but yeah, in this case, when I tried to do that, when I was about to do that, and then we have yatsura, which comes from yatsu. We have seen yatsu before, I'm pretty sure. Accent on the first syllable means fellow, guy or chap. We have seen it actually by extension for, as a colloquial form for thing, object. But yeah, fundamentally it would be fellow, a derogatory or familiar term. In this case, derogatory, of course, considering the context, as we see. And then we add this ra. This ra is one of the ways to make the plural, is a pluralizing suffix used with certain specific words. And yeah, one of these is actually yatsu. We see it more often than not with pronouns, with certain pronouns, with certain words, of course referring to people, like this yatsu. And yeah, so it becomes they, those guys, even better. Yeah. So yeah, those guys. Then we have the ni, and yeah, in this case, again, actually, by the agent, by those guys. Then we have tamago, which means egg. Accented on the ma, ta, ma, go, low, high, low. I want to quickly check because it's suspiciously hope I'm not getting issues here with the audio, because I went on Wiktionary to check out the origin, and yeah, as I suspected, didn't verify it before. It's a compound. Yeah, you might guess it because of the tama, if you ever heard the word before. And the go at the end, which would actually be ko and then becomes voiced. Again, like it happens for second parts of compound, especially of strictly Japanese origin or suffixes. And yeah, literally we have tama, which means actually accented tama on the last syllable, ta-ma, low, high, which means ball, sphere, globe, orb, several other extended meanings, but yeah, ball, fundamental meaning. And then ko, in this case the ko, which is the one for child, unaccented. And yeah, literally ball child. And yeah, so yeah, makes sense to use such a compound for egg. And by the way, if you keep in mind that it's a compound, actually the accent on the ma makes even more sense because it would follow the usual rules for such compounds. We have seen the accent usually being on the last mora, last syllable technically, in this case, of the first word or the first mora of the second word, in this case the former. And yeah, so we have tamago, egg, ni, in this case in, as in into, and then we have this pretty long form, toji komerare ta, and then also the ndes, but we'll check it in a second. And yeah, we have toji komeru, which is a compound verb, as you might have guessed. Yeah, that's why it starts getting longer, even just with that. This one comes from tojiru, actually accented, so tojiru, low, high, low, to close. A book, eyes, and so on, meeting, to shut. Technically both transitive and intransitive, according to the plugin in this case. And then we have this komeru, which we have seen before. On its own would be to put into. Also by extent, that would technically be the fundamental meaning. It's the transitive form of komu, which we have also seen before. Both are accented. Komu means to go into, to go in, and other extended meanings also when used as the second part of a compound, of a verb, compound verb. Yeah, komeru, the transitive form. So yeah, to put into, other extended meanings. But yeah, in this case, simply is we have to close, to shut, and then put into. So yeah, the meaning becomes to lock up, to shut up, to imprison. Luckily, by the way, toji komeru, as the compound verb, is actually still accented, so like komeru on its own. And yeah, so makes sense, yeah. Literally put into and close. That's why. And yeah, literally in this case, because yeah, Yoshi was put into and closed into the egg. And yeah, komeru and also this toji komeru are ru verbs, ichidan verbs. So, by changing the u into a and then add re, ru, here can be seen fully because of further conjugation, we make the passive form of the verb. And yeah, so it becomes to be locked up, shut up, imprisoned. And yeah, then the passive form of verbs are ru verbs, ichidan verbs also. So we can drop the ru and add ta to make the ta form pretty easy. And yeah, so was imprisoned into the egg by those guys. Yeah, we'll see then the full translation in a second. Because yeah, first and foremost we have to finish by checking out the ndes. We've actually seen it before and quite a lot. The n is an abbreviation for no, the nominalizer for verbs. We could say also fact as a translation. Thing, as in the thing is, better the fact is. And yeah, after that we had des, the copula, the polite form of the copula in this case. Yeah, as a reminder, mentioned last time, I'm pretty sure des is the from de arimas, so yeah, de technically the form of the copula, then arimas. From aru, to be, as in to exist, technically is one for the inanimate things, so objects, concepts, and so on. U verb colon verb, we change the u into i to then add mas to make the polite, the arimas, then contracted into des. So yeah, the polite form of the copula. We have seen it also as no da, and also the abbreviated nda, that in plain speech. But yeah, the meaning is still the same, and yeah, it's an expression that means literally it is that, the fact is that, the explanation is that, and all those, and yeah, so literally in our case, yeah, Yoshi is explaining what happened to him, why he was in the egg. And yeah, so we can actually fully translate now. When I tried, or when I was about to go to the castle, towards, let's keep it like that, towards the castle, to rescue my friends, there's no distinction in that case, usually for Japanese words. Sometimes you can add pluralizing suffixes or double the word to make the plural, make them specifically plural, but yeah, otherwise you can't tell by the word itself. It can be used either singular or plural. Here we can say in general my friends, my companions, caught by Bowser. It is that, the fact is that, the explanation is that I was locked up, imprisoned into an egg, the egg, however you want to, we don't have articles in Japanese, by those guys. And yeah, so we finally checked out this, but yeah, it makes sense that it was pretty long. There was a lot to check, and yeah, it's again what we have heard from Yoshi also in his house about the story, and also an extension of it, yeah, the continuation actually, because yeah, we had heard that Yoshi was went out to save his friends, but yeah, he actually got locked up into an egg there. And yeah, already we have another block. Yeah, so unfortunately in these first episodes we'll have more of these writings, but yeah, then they become less frequent. As you might have guessed already with all those A and R, and at this point you might also recognize, even if you don't remember the kanji, the kana, botan, because we have seen it so much. And yeah, we have first and foremost E botan wa jump. Okay, actually the first part, this one will be pretty quick. we won't do it, explain it step by step again, because actually this is the one, the first part, up to the period. Then there's a new part at the end. So yeah, another extension of what we have already heard technically. Makes sense considering that you could have gone to the right instead of to the left at the start. Yeah, as a reminder, yeah, first we have as for the A button, implied it's jump. Then as for the R button, it's spin jump. And then we have also you implied can trample, step on enemies that can't be that you can't trample, step on. Again, when you do the spin jump, and when you have become literally big, blocks you again implied can also break, smash blocks. Yeah, so this is actually straight up what we have seen before. The new part is the final one, which is Yoshi kara oriru no mo aru botan. Yeah, the additional part is the one about Yoshi, because yeah, here we have Yoshi, of course. Yeah, it starts with his name, Yoshi. Then we have kara, from. And then we have the verb oriru. Technically, to descend, and can be used also to descend a mountain, to go down, to come down. Accent, by the way, oriru, we have seen it before, I think. Can actually be used also as in to get off, to disembark, to dismount. And yeah, I think I mentioned it when we have seen it before. It can be used also for passes and so on, means of transportation. Yeah, you use this verb when you get off them. Yeah, literally you descend from them, you go down from them. Yeah, makes sense. The opposite is, by the way, noru. Yeah, which means to get on. Literally would be as in to mount, but yeah, then it becomes noru, by the way, unaccented. Yeah, it becomes also to get on a train, plane, bus, and so on. And yeah, of course, in this case, literally we are riding Yoshi, so yeah, makes sense to use these verbs. But yeah, oriru, get off. Then we have no, and yeah, the nominalizer for verbs. So yeah, to make it a noun. And then we have to nominalize it, even better, literally. Then we have the inclusive particle mo, also even. We have seen it also in the previous part there, when we explained it last time, step by step. Or should I say word by word. But yeah, also even. And then we have, of course, aru, botan. And yeah, we have aru, the pronunciation of R from English R. And then botan, button. Again, unaccented. And it's actually from Portuguese, that's why it's slightly different from button. Portuguese botão. Yeah, so that's why it becomes totan. Unaccented, so be careful. Yeah. So the translation is simply also getting off from Yoshi implied is, as in you use the R button. So yeah, simply this explanation. It's worth mentioning. Notice that technically we would have usually, instead of the inclusive particle, the topic particle, or even that technically when you add one of those two particles, they replace the subject particle ga, the object particle o. When it comes to other particles, they actually added. So yeah, you would then get the combination of whichever other particle plus wa or mo. And yeah, similar actually to this no mo, even though in this case the no is the nominalizer, not strictly the possessive particle. And yeah, still wanted to mention that, although we'll see it again. And yeah, so we actually, luckily that was way quicker than I expected, because it was actually the part we have seen before. We can get that. And yeah, when you get a Koopa shell, then you can well, the red Koopa shell, then you can spit fire with it. The green one, you simply spit like that. And you can jump on enemies and immediately defeat them like that. Well, when it comes to Koopas, the charging attacks, Buru in Japanese, as we have seen. So yeah, literally Buru. Require 3 hits. Yeah, now we actually have a new writing. So yeah, this one we'll have to check. Well, the part above is the one we have seen before, which is 1 point adobaisu. Yeah, 1 point advice from English, literally. And yeah, first and foremost we have Koko ni aru no wa Naka kan geto. And yeah, so funny enough, we actually have a kanji, which I don't think we might not have checked out before. If that's the case, we'll have to start with that next time. Let me quickly check just to be sure. And if that's the case, I'll actually also take a capture just to keep it in mind. But yeah, I don't think we have it studied it before. Let me quickly check here, but I have doubts. If I try to find it, nope. So yeah, funny enough, we get a kanji in this game. A pretty simple one, as we see, and a pretty common one. Pretty simple one, you can see it already in its shape. But yeah, we'll see it when the time comes. But we'll study it next time then. Just like when we found kanji in the middle, inside, when playing Kirby's Adventure, other than the title. But yeah, first we have Koko, which is part of the Ko So Ado series. Ko, close to both the speaker and the listener. So, far from the speaker, close to the listener. A, far from both. Do, the interrogative. Ko, So, A, usually unaccented. Do, accent on the first syllable. When we add the Ko, we get the corresponding place. So yeah, here. Then we have the particle ni, which will be in, at. So yeah, a location. And yeah, it's the when we use verbs of staying, we have to use the particle ni. With all the other verbs, we use the instead. Yeah, in this case, we immediately after have aru. Again, to be as in to exist. So yeah, of inanimate things, so objects. It's an object, the one we are speaking about here. Then we have this no. Which is again technically the nominalizer for verbs. We could say the one, the thing. In this case, you see what I mean in a second. After that, we have the particle wa, again the topic particle. And so yeah, it becomes as for what, or better, because we don't strictly have a what here in Japanese. As for the one, the thing that is here. And so yeah, technically the koko ni aru before the no is a relative clause. And yeah, so we have the this no in this case technically a nominalizer, but yeah, I'd say more in this sense as for the one, the thing, better when translating it. As for the thing that is here, and then we have this kanji. In this case, that kan makes me think that potentially could be in another way, but we'll check out. On its own, it would be pronounced naka, which we have seen. So yeah, I think it's actually pronounced the other way in this case because of the following kan. But yeah, on its own would be naka, accented on the first syllable, not the one we have I mentioned before, even in this episode for relation. This is the other one for inside, interior, middle, center, among, within. And yeah, all those meanings. So yeah, we could say the fundamental meaning, middle, center, and then from that inside, interior, among, within, and all that. It's Chinese reading. Well, technically it has two of them. Sometimes you see two of them mentioned, but yeah, they actually all come from the single one that it has, which is chu. And yeah, here it's actually should be pronounced as chu because of the following kan. And so yeah, we get the word chu kan, which is a Chinese compound, as you might have guessed. And yeah, that's why we use Chinese readings. And it's unaccented. Perfect. The kan is actually the one for which uses the same kanji when written in kanji for aida or ma, the ma we have seen for nakama. So yeah, space or period of time. And yeah, literally would be space in the middle space, we could even say, so we keep the order like in Japanese. And yes, so literally it means the translations for this is middle, or even better, midway, halfway, yeah, center, also center, but yeah, middle position also by extension, moderate position, neutral position, but yeah, literally middle position, yeah, middle space as mentioned. By extension also intermediate, mid-term, all those from that middle position, middle space as mentioned, from literally the meanings of the two kanji. But yeah, in our case it's simply midway, and after that we get geto, from English gate. Yeah, again the A becomes long E. We have to add a vowel for the consonant because it can stay on its own, apart from N. So in this case O, because otherwise we would get a different consonant. Yeah, so in this case it's actually respected. Geto should be accented, but we'll check. Yes, it is. And yes, so as for the thing that is here, it's implied a copula, the midway gate. And yeah, after that it says Koko no tepu o kitte oitara Suzuki wa kono atari kara hajimarimasu. And yeah, first and foremost we have again Koko, so here. Then we have no, in this case actually the possessive particle of, so literally of here. After that we have the word tape, tape from English, yeah, pretty easy. Again, note the A sound becomes long E. We add the vowel U for the consonant at the end. Let's check its accent though. Okay, yeah, actually like in English, so on the tape. Then we have the object particle O. Then we have kitte, which should be from kiru. Not the one we have studied, because that one is actually a ru verb, it's an verb, means to wear from the shoulders down, put on, and so on. Also, by extension, to take the blame, responsibility to bear. Yeah, not that one, because yeah, again, that one is a ru verb, it's an verb. This one, despite being in iru, in its dictionary form, is a u verb, codan verb. And yeah, it's the verb kiru, to cut. Other several extended meanings, but yeah, the fundamental one is to cut. And yes, so being a u verb, codan verb, to make the te form, like in this case, we have to follow the rules. It's in ru, so it becomes double consonant te, again as usual. The form, which is required, because then we add the verb oku. We've seen it also last time, I'm pretty sure. On its own means to put, to place an accented. When used as an auxiliary verb, it has the meanings to leave something in a certain state, to keep something in a certain state. You can see clearly why by extension. But its most common meaning as an auxiliary verb is to do something in advance. So yeah, as if you left something for later, for future usage, figuratively speaking. So yeah, in this case, then we have to further conjugate it here to make the ta form. It's an u verb, codan verb, oku, so we have to follow the rules. It's in ku, so it becomes ita. Again, continuative form, u into i, o ki ta, but then the k fell, and so only the i remained, oita. Ta form required because yet again we had ra, so we make the conditional or temporal usage. Again, the focus with having done that action before the rest can happen. When you have cut in advance the tape and off here, literally. And then we have Suzuki. From Suzuku, which, yeah, as we have seen, the intransitive form in this case, instead of Suzukeru, to continue transitive, unaccented. It's a verb con a verb, so we can change the U into I to make the continuative form. In this case, to make the corresponding noun. Continuation. Suzuki. Unaccented, just like the verb. There are some exceptions, unfortunately, as you have seen, but yeah. Usually the rule is if the verb is unaccented, the continuative form used as a noun is also unaccented. If the verb is accented, then the continuative form used as a noun is accented on the last syllable. Then we have the topic particle wa, and so as for the continuation, then we have kono, and from the again the Kosado series. With the no, we make the demonstrative adjective, so this, or also these. Again, because there isn't a distinction of the plural in Japanese words, except for some pluralizing suffixes. But yes, so this followed by a noun, which is in our case atari. Atari means vicinity. Also nearby, surrounding, neighborhood also, around, about, or thereabouts by extension. But yeah, the fundamental meaning, I'd say, keep in mind vicinity, nearby, surroundings, and then everything else by extension. As for its accent, is actually accented on the first syllable, atari, so high, low, low. And yeah, from this vicinity, and yeah, I mentioned, yeah, after that we have kara, so from this vicinity. And last but not least, we have hajimarimasu, from hajimaru. We've actually seen it at the start of this series also, because of course of the file select, the data select in Japanese. Hajimaru should be an accent, if I recall correctly. It is. Means to begin. The intransitive form of the verb, again in aru. The transitive one in eru, in this case hajimeru. So yeah, the intransitive one, again a classical form of the passive. Literally would be is begun, is started. But yeah, it's a verb code verb, so we can change the u into I, make the continuative form. In this case, simply to add mass and make the polite form of the verb. So yeah, the full translation becomes if or when, but better if in this case, if you cut in advance the tape of here, literally. In English, we would have to adapt it as in this tape, or also its tape, to make clearer the reference to that it's the tape of the midway gate. Yeah, literally in Japanese, of the tape of here. As for the continuation, we could say the continuation starts, or simply the subject then becomes an implied you, start from this vicinity. I guess so we got the explanation, of course, of the midway point. we cut the tape, and yeah, you can barely see it remaining there. Pretty funny. And yeah, we actually would have had another Yoshi there, but yeah, we already had it. We have a Monty Moles here. Yeah, let's not lose Yoshi though. Okay, we can go up, but I don't think I can climb vines with Yoshi. Yeah, I can't. So let's actually climb here to get this dragon coin. Oh yeah, we'll continue. I think we actually get... Yeah, we got the final dragon coin, so we should be close to the end. Yeah, there I think it was simply a regular mushroom. Notice these blocks here. If we hadn't pushed the yellow switch, you could fall here. Oh yeah, we can quickly get these. And yeah, we should actually be close to the end. Okay, see a P-switch there. Okay. It's simply to make this material, and so actually I missed it. So yeah, still we haven't seen what cutting the tape in its right spot at the goal gate does. And yeah, we actually get Yoshi on the map also here. I switched to Luigi to hopefully, I'm not sure if it will save that. But yeah, we'll actually save here. Choose the menu here, the pause menu. Yeah, we have literally pause, which I quickly mentioned that it's becomes in Japanese pause. So yeah, we simply have the long O for O, like in pause, and then the additional U at the end, pause. By the way, the same word can be used also for pose, because yeah, they don't have those distinctions in Japanese for the vowels. Yeah, either way, accented on the first syllables, just like in English. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, we simply have the same options as before. Don't save and continue, save and continue, save and end. Yeah, we'll actually choose that and end the stream here. I quickly show. Again, like last time. And yeah, as you can see, now we have played 3 levels. Because yeah, Yoshi's House didn't count. The yellow switch palace counted, and then now, of course, the Yoster Island course 2 counts. So yeah, we got to this. Yeah, now we can actually close. And yes, so today we continued playing Super Mario World, and it's in Super Mario Advance 2. We pressed the yellow button, checked out its name, of course, played the Yoster Island course 2. So we got to meet also Yoshi in person. And yes, so next time we'll continue from there. We have it's worth mentioning that next time might not be on Friday. We'll see, depending on how much time is left after, because you might have seen tomorrow a partner showcase is happening. So yeah, most likely I'll watch it for the channel, react, as in, again, watch the direct, the Japanese version, and so we'll actually be able to see the differences, the games announced there compared to other versions. And after watching it and making some comments here and there when they aren't speaking, then after that I'll go through the announcements and make more comments. So yeah, I think it's around 30 minutes. So it could be around an hour or slightly more. We might have time to still play, to still continue this series. But yeah, first we'll have that reaction to the partner showcase. Then based on how much time we have, we might continue this series. Of course, we'll have less time if we do that, but yeah. So yeah, potentially on Friday, but we'll see. Okay. See you next time.